These Dometic capacitive touch thermostats are not very accurate. Matter of fact, we say it's set to 72, but it's really about 68 degrees in here. So a number of degrees off, and that temperature swing is huge. Today, we're going to try to figure out if we can't replace it with a programmable thermostat. These thermostats are not wired like a typical thermostat. They have a 12 volt ground, 12 volt positive, and a bus connection. So a typical thermostat really just relies on passing of current through the internal switches. This is a little bit different. So some RVs that have analog or other thermostats, it's a pretty straightforward replacement. But in our rig and many rigs with these newer thermostats, newer air conditioners, where they've got digital control, it's just not going to be a simple job. We're going to take this apart and see what we need to do to find out how to put this on. Now, I did find a resource online. I'll post a link to it below. The person that I found this has a grand design, but I think this is more a wiring of the way these Dometic AC furnace controls are set up. So I think we should be in good shape to try to, do the same process on our RV. A couple of simple tools is all it should take. I, of course, always go above and beyond. So I have some quick disconnects and some additional thermostat wire and some tap splices, all that we'll probably be using. And then a simple array of tools such as, well, a drill driver. This happens to be vice grips, but I think any set of pliers will probably work. Wire strippers, another set of strippers with a crimper. I just like the way that these ones work better, a little more accurate than these ones. And then electrical tape and a set of drill bits. So without further ado, the first thing that we'll need to do is figure out how in the world we're going to power the furnace off of a modern home style thermostat and replace this. One thing that we do need to note is on these Dometic ones, the cover just comes off and then it's held in with a couple of screws, and then here's our plus minus and data bus connections. On ours, it's the same standard Robertson number 2. So one of the interesting things about the way this system works is you do have, and it's labeled in here, it's kind of hard to see on camera probably, but you've got ground, bus, and 12 volt positive. So we're going to disconnect the 12 volt positive. In my case, it's red, and I need to find a small screwdriver. You're going to need something pretty small to get those screws out. So I found my tiny screwdriver, and we're going to go ahead and just disconnect just the red wire. The other two are going to need to stay in place. And basically, one of the features of these systems is when you disconnect the positive current and then you reattach it, it remembers where it was. So if I switch it over, it still retains 73 and 72 on the AC. And that is a key feature of making this modification work. This has memory in it and it doesn't reset. So what we're actually going to do is use this to continue controlling the AC, and we'll use this to actually control the digital converter, and that will operate the AC. We'll wire the furnace directly to this thermostat. Inside this box, now I chose a thermostat that is programmable for just one setting. The process is going to be the same regardless of what Honeywell thermostat you use. Other thermostats may be a little bit different, but this was about $20 at my local hardware store. So we're gonna hook this up. A key portion of this modification is we're gonna take that red wire, the 12 volt positive that was on the original thermostat, and power this thermostat for its control with it, and then we'll run the furnace off of another one of the screws. You know, obviously we're going to read the instructions and make sure we pick the right one, and then the AC is going to lead off of here back into the 12 volt positive on the Dometic thermostat. So it's going to be a dual thermostat system, but we're only going to need to work with the Honeywell one when we want to adjust the temperature. From a placement perspective, this thermostat should fit right about here, and then we'll probably just push this up, you know, up a little bit higher and fish the wire out of a new hole that we create up here. According to the website where I found all this information, the jumper is going to need to stay in place because that's going to be functioning for both AC and heat. And what we're going to do is we're going to loosen just the R screw, and coincidentally our wire is in fact red, so we will wire that in to that R terminal. And what that's going to do is provide the signal power that we need to make this work. And just kind of make sure that's snug. The next step is to wire up power to the furnace. Now the furnace has two wires associated with the thermostat, and according to what I read, it requires only one to have positive power coming through it. So I'm going to take a little bit of this thermostat wire that I picked up and route from the appropriate terminal for this thermostat and try to power the furnace through here. The W terminal is the terminal that is specified for calling for heat. I'm going to choose, because I got two wire thermostat wire, I'm going to choose to use white as the W terminal. Kind of matches, right? Now I will appropriately, you know, tape this off and everything when I get this all figured out. But again, I'm going to run it through the back because I want to be able to test it. So that's in there snug. Now where's your furnace, Todd? Well, we've seen a lot of my furnace in previous videos, but I did provide a cutout and quick disconnects so that life would be easier should I ever need to take the furnace out to do further testing. And again, we'll just fold back the red and strip the white. I'm going to try to find the male one over here. Flame on. It still says it's 72. I'm gonna get past that set point. Let's see what happens. And that clicked off. Nice. Might have some hope for this yet. Well, I'd say that was kind of lucky, because this package of disconnects I got is all female connectors. I didn't realize that. I thought it was male and female. But, hey, it seems to work. The next step is going to be to start configuring to mount both of these here. And so, going to have to disconnect everything again. And we just need a hole large enough to be able to get some wires through. And so I have a 5/8 inch spade bit. I will very carefully go through here. So blue is the ground, white is the data. Simple enough. Now I want to strip back the sheathing that's on this brown sheathing so that I can have access to the blue and the white up here and the red down here. Basically, I just want to separate out this red wire so that I can run it down here. So again, we'll just run a little fish. And this is actually kind of cool because I can put the strip sections kind of in the middle there and have plenty of wire to work with. So we'll just wire this up again the way we had it. I can reinstall the Dometic thermostat now up here. The Y terminal on here is going to go to the positive of the Dometic thermostat. The reason I should be using the red is because this is going to the red 12 volt plus terminal on the other thermostat. So the red, as we recall, goes to 12 volt positive. Now we know, because of our test, that the female is the right one, and because I had quick disconnects already in place, we can plug that in. And these other thermostat wires, we basically don't need those anymore. This one goes in the W column. It's a win. So final wire up looks like this. R and RC are jumpered by a little wire from the manufacturer. We have a red wire that is 12 volt positive coming from the Dometic air conditioner. So it's supplying 12 volt to the system. The W is white. That is a white wire going to the thermostat connection in the furnace. And then the Y, I happened to use a red wire. The Y goes to the Dometic thermostat 12 volt positive connection. So pretty simple wire up. I'm gonna get this faceplate back on after I put my batteries back in. It is starting to cool down in here, so hopefully we got this right. Well, it says the temperature in here is 70 degrees, and my set point, I'll set it for 72. No, I'll set it for 71. Now that it's all completely installed, I wanted to show you how it works. So I do have it on the heat setting. The current temperature is 70 degrees in here, so that's pretty much reasonable temperature. When I switch things to cool, like right now, there's no power to the Dometic. When I switch things over to cool, and I make sure my temperature is well below the current set point, so I set this down to 64, this automatically kicks on. Now this says 57, and this one I had set to 64, so it would attempt to cool till 64 degrees. And then once that set point is reached, it should go ahead and kick off. Heard the thermostat click, this went off, and the AC is going to do its cool down or finish up cycle. Pop this back over to heat because it is still cool outside, and we'll actually click the run program and we should be good to go. So it's as simple as that. That's kind of why we need to retain this thermostat to function for the air conditioner. It works. It's just one extra component on the wall. It's not really in the way or anything, so I'm okay with it. With that, I'm going to call it a day. My name is Todd from the Alcohol Free RV, where we do mods, repairs, and upgrades along the way. We'll see you next time.